good, people? It's your boy, Coach Ace, coming at you with another episode of In the Classroom. And yes, I'll be continuing my advanced level series. So, without further ado, let's get right to the topic at hand. Today, we'll be discussing the concept of the defensive trap. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be a very good episode. The defensive trap, it's an excellent tactic. And when I really explain it, I hope you understand that this has the opportunity to absolutely revolutionize the way we think about defensive schematics in American football. So, the concept of the defensive trap is essentially put your cornerback or one of your safeties in a position to catch an interception and then return that interception that they caught for a touchdown. And that's why it's so revolutionary, why it's so unique. Because typically you think, oh yeah, well, when people think about defense, they just think about, oh yeah, making sure they get the ball back to the offense and putting their team's offense in position to put points on the board. But no, in football, in American football, the defense can score points just like the offense can. You can force fumbles and return those fumbles for touchdowns. You can catch interceptions and return those interceptions for touchdowns. And you can get safeties. And remember, at the end of the game, the only thing that matters is which team scored the most points. That's a very obvious statement, but I make that statement to say that defense can be offense too. It all depends on your level of aggression and your ingenuity for when you create these schemes within your playbook. But I've talked too much. Let's get right to the play art. So, as you can see, I've already drawn out the idea and the concept. And for this particular lesson, I thought I would go a lot more into detail about the offensive play, but you know what? No, this is a defensive lesson, so we'll just key in onto the defensive trap. I'll tell you first which player has assigned the defensive trap, and then we'll get into how to execute it through zone blitz and through man blitz. Now, the interesting thing about defensive trap is it can only be used through zone blitz or combo blitz. Obviously, combo blitz has a combination of man and zone within the scheme and within the play design. And zone blitz, well, that's just sending 5 or more blitzers, and obviously everybody that's not blitzing is in zone. My preference for defensive trap plays, I'd say combo blitz because it's more confusing. You can confine and manipulate the offense at a greater level if you know how to disguise your coverages. So, with the play art, as you can see, I've drawn out that yellow figure, that yellow circle you see right there. And then you see the INT 6, interception, 6 points. Now, let's get to the blitz. The nickel corner will be aligned right in front of the slot wide receiver. And then it'll blitz off the 9 gap. The middle linebacker will walk towards the 9 gap on that left side, same side where the nickel corner is blitzing. And he'll blitz help off of that 9 gap. Defensive tackle will be pressuring from the inside on the 7 gap. Defensive tackle will be pressuring from the 4 gap. Defensive tackle on the opposite side, on the right side, will be pressuring from the 4 gap. Defensive end on the right side will be pressuring from the 7 gap. Now, to the play at hand. the wide receiver on the outside will be assigned with that cornerback that I assigned the trap in this particular play. Now, let's say that I decided to do a combo blitz with this play, and with combo, yes, sometimes within the play you can use pseudo man and pseudo zone. Trust me, those are two completely different topics. I'll get to that later. But if you're going to line them up and your trap player is in pseudo man, what's going to end up happening is they're going to pretend like they're playing man coverage on the wide receiver. And in this particular design, in this particular play that I showed, the wide receiver is throwing a 9 route or a go route. So the cornerback's playing man, looks like he's playing man, goes up with the wide receiver until a certain point. I say typically with trap plays, they stop following the wide receiver after about 10 yards of distance downfield. And then you see the arrow, they're going to turn their angular motion back downfield. And what's going to end up happening is he's going to see an out route run by that slot wide receiver that was disguised to look like the nickel corner was covering him. Well, that slot wide receiver is running a quick out route. So with defensive trap, with pseudo man, after the cornerback eludes or gets away from that 9 route wide receiver, he's going to lurk down into the passing lane of the quick out. And then you see that circle, you see that little dotted circle, that incomplete circle that I drew. That is me trying to describe the interception point, the point where it invades the passing lane and the cornerback garners the interception. Now, as you can see, I put the 6 again. That 6 means I want them to score a touchdown after they catch the interception. Now, the important thing about the defensive trap is they typically set up the traps on the outside, near either towards the hash marks or towards the sideline. Why? Because cornerbacks are athletic. They have good feet, good technique. They have good agility, and they typically have more speed in comparison to most of the players on the field. Therefore, you put them towards the outside, have everybody else towards the center of the field occupied, and then after they catch the ball, they have a better opportunity, a better chance, more likelihood of a chance to score a touchdown after they catch the interception. So that's why defensive traps are set up towards the sidelines or towards the hash marks. So it's a very important aspect of the defensive scheme, of the defensive tactic, to be able to understand, because that's ultimately where the concept comes into play. Because remember, this concept is designed, it is structurally and mentally designed to score touchdowns on defense. So, in zone, when we're running a defensive trap on zone blitz, typically it's going to be through intermediate zone. The cornerback is going to lurk towards the center, lurk towards the hash marks, and then they're going to survey the field, reading the quarterback's eyes, and they'll have a wide range of responsibility on the field as a result of them trying to let the quarterback think that he has room to throw the pass. And then I'm essentially giving the corner leeway to make a play, read the quarterback's eyes, become the aggressor, and invade the passing lane, and then attack. Yeah, that's right, I said attack. Woo, let's go attack the ball, and then garner an interception. Now, as I brought that up, let me highlight the idea. Let me highlight the idea that the cornerback has a wide range of area to cover. Now, that little gap that I drew out and those little dots, I'm basically just highlighting through illustration the amount of space that this play would be designed for the cornerback to be able to have to cover in their responsibility. And essentially, the play is just telling the quarterback, make a move and make your decision. Because we're going to give you some space. We're going to give you some passing lanes, and we'll see if you guess right. And that's really how the play works from a zone blitz perspective. We give them a little bit of space. We give the receiver some space to maneuver, and essentially we're looking for an intermediate passing route towards the sideline, and we're looking to simply just jump the passing route, jump the passing lane, obviously catch the pass, and garner an interception. And then, as I already said, score that touchdown. There you have it. That's the concept and the idea of the defensive trap. And let me tell you something. If coaches catch on to this, understand it, grasp it, and understand the tendencies, because the tendencies are the key to this game, the tendencies of the quarterback and the offensive coordinators that they're going against, then they can figure out whether or not it is a good strategy when going against that particular team. But in my opinion, this concept has the opportunity to revolutionize the game and completely change the way coordinators think about schematics. Excellent scheme. And I'm out. Deuces.